Hallo, ich bin Niklas von Bellequip und im folgenden Video von Advantech gehen wir auf die ersten Grundlagen von WebAccess DMP ein. Genauer gesagt auf Widgets und Tabellen. Das hilft euch im Dashboard einen guten Überblick zu behalten und gibt einen ersten Eindruck davon, wie WebAccess DMP beim Monitoren und Managen der Geräte helfen kann. Viel Spaß beim Anschauen.
Hi, I am David. Today I want to introduce you the new version of WebAccess DMP. Yes, right. Version 3.4.0 is here. This version bringing several few new features. Let's quickly introduce them. The first one is the long-term requested role-based access control. To use this feature, navigate to the left menu. Instead of the previous user section here, you can now find the user management section. This section is divided into three sections: users, roles, and service account. If you go to the roles, you will see here the three default roles: company admin, operator, and viewer. You can check which permissions are here and which are assigned to this role. You can create a new role from here. It is simple. Click on the Create. Then give it a name. For example, Maintenance. You can also put here a description of the role. For example, users who will have this role assigned can view the devices, view device configuration, edit device configuration, and remotely control a device. That's all. Save. Now you have defined a role called Maintenance. If you click this number, you will see which permissions are assigned. Now, if you go back to the users, you can assign this role to a user. Click on Edit, and then you will find here that the user has these permissions. So for example, click on the company admin. The user will have the whole range of permissions. If I choose the viewer, then only view permissions will be assigned to this user. And if I choose Maintenance, then only these permissions that we created are assigned. We can save it. And now this user has permissions assigned. If you obviously edit later, they're also Maintenance if you go here and edit the role. For let's say we add here the view users, we can save it. And now we go back to users. Click on that. And we can see that the user's permission has been assigned as well. If you don't want to use the roles for any user, you can obviously opt out of the role, settings, and then assign the permissions to the user individually. Of course, we also bring a new feature called a service account. We split the standard users who are able to use so that we and the users, which is dedicated to the service account, which are the accounts that talk to the API in our application. If you go to the service account, you can create it here a new service account. You give it the name, you give it the password. You can create the description if necessary for each company. So you can create a service account, you can also use roles, the same roles for the service account. Or you can assign different permissions to this account. This account will not be able to log in into Web UI, but only use the API. Okay, the next thing is device commands. Now, if you go to the order page, you will find an additional menu here that calls commands. If you click on commands, you will find here everything that was sent to the router or which command was sent, and so on. For example, if I go to the desired configuration, I read the router configuration, and if I go to the settings and change it to, let's say, google.com. Then apply the configuration and I will wait a second until it's syncing. So in the meantime, I can show you another feature. How is indicate if any application is not up to date? If you read the configuration here on the Configuration tab, you will find now here this indicator which tells you that the application is not up to date. The version of the application is not up to date. So, for example, this WebAccess DMP client 3.3.1 is not up to date. I can simply click here and I can see all the available versions. Then I can choose the new version and apply it to the router. We will wait a second. In the meantime, we can go to the commands, and we can see here the last applied configuration command. We can see what exactly was applied to the router, who was applying, and which user. We can see that we changed the outcome database URL to google.com. And now the last command is waiting for a response. Let's refresh the page. Page is updated, and we can also check what has been changed. And we can see that we assigned the router WebAccess DMP client version 3.4.0. Okay, the next thing is moving devices between companies. If you exist as a user in 2 or more different companies, you can move devices easily from one company to another. How do you do that? Simply choose Devices on the dashboard. There's a new special button on the right side of the panel. Click on that and choose the target company. In my case, WebAccess DMP Demo 2. Let me first show that under this company are no existing routers at the moment. Here is the company WebAccess DMP Demo 2. There are no devices. I go back to the previous company WebAccess Demo. I choose the devices, then click on the button, select WebAccess Demo 2 company. I also have an option to move data with the devices or just the devices. Data means that all the statistics, all the configurations, everything will be migrated, or the desired configuration will be migrated with the device, or with just device records. The device itself will be moved to the new company. So I keep data with the devices, and I choose the target company and I click Move. Now we will see that these devices will disappear from here. If we go back to the next demo, we will find that these devices are now in this new company. What else is that? We changed the approach to the company contacts. You will find here that users and company contacts are separated. If you go to the companies, you can find the contact type. Yeah, you can create a new one. There are no users, just contacts. It means that you can separate users and contacts, and you can provide information from the WebAccess DMP to specific contacts. For example, this one is my account. If I click here, I will say it's a primary contact, or the primary contact will get every kind of notification. We have 3 groups of notifications at the moment, which are billing, security, and operation. For non-primary contacts, you can choose which notifications it's supposed to get, so it means you can choose between security and operations. In this case, Peter Cherney is our accountant, and we will choose billing. Peter is not a user. He is a contact and he is not able to access the WebAccess DMP account. He will only receive notification from WebAccess DMP. These notifications are limited to billing notifications. For today, it is all. Thank you very much for watching this video. For more information, please visit our WebAccess DMP portal. My name is David and I am ready to bring new information. Anytime, every time.